Just a reminder to vote in this week's Locals poll, where you decide what deck I take to Locals every single week. Without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and for today we have the profile for the deck that won the Locals poll this past week, being Superheavy Samurai. Ended up having to go to work on Friday this week. I normally don't, but every now and again I do, and this was one of the times where I did. So I did online matches instead. Went 1-1, so we did okay. I was kind of tired towards the end, so I was like, I'll just stop. So, but here's what it looks like on paper. Then we'll get to the card by card. All right, so starting off, we're actually gonna do this a little differently than most deck profiles. I'm gonna have it more in the zoomed out view just because I'm kind of doing it in sections. So the first section we're gonna do is the pendulums. So we got 2 Monk Big Benkei and then 3 Wakaushi. Big Benkei, basically while he's in the pendulum scale, you can search one of your Superheavy Samurai Soul monsters from your deck to your hand once per turn. And then Wakaushi, if he's in your pendulum zone, you can place this guy from your deck into the pendulum zone, special summon him, he's a level 4 tuner, and then we're just off to the races. So this by itself is like a 1.5 card combo to get on your main Synchro 12 all by itself. So like it's kind of nice. Just being able to, get a level 12 Synchro without committing to a normal summon. Next, we're going to have some of the regular Superheavy Samurai monsters. We got 1 Big Benkei. This one is a big beater for the deck because, they attack while in defense position. We got 3 copies of Big Waraji. This one, it's literally a free special summon as long as we have no spells and traps. So, we can tribute it with Soul Peacemaker, or we can use it for Synchro summons, or whatever. So, it's literally free. Next, 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Wagon. This one is a very solid normal summon for the deck. It changes itself to defense position. And then while it's in defense position, you can switch it back to attack position to search a Superheavy Samurai Soul monster. Usually it is going to be the aforementioned Soul Peacemaker. Next, 2 copies of Superheavy Samurai Magnet. This one's kind of like a Goblin Bird for the deck. So it's just a way to try to get an extra body. 1 Scales. Scales is a free special summon as long as our opponent has 2 or more monsters and we have none. And then it also revives a level 4 lower Superheavy Samurai monster in the grave. So it's good to get back into the game if they manage to get through our defenses first time around. 1 Security. This one can be used to help get Big Benkei out of the graveyard, and it can also recycle your pendulums from the face-up extra deck. 2 copies of Flutist. He is targeting protection. While he's in the grave, we just banish him to negate a targeting effect, and then on field you can tribute him to special summon Super Heavy from hand. So again, another way to get one of your high level ones out of your hand if need be. 3 copies of Motorbike. So this one, it's a level 2 tuner, but we can discard it to search any Super Heavy Samurai monster from our deck, and then while it's on the... So a really good way to do this is if you're going second, is you use Motorbike, discard it, search Scales, Scales summon, get Motorbike back from the grave, and then you can use its other effect to increase one of your Super Heavies level by 2, so that way you can go into a Synchro 8 play right off the bat without a normal summon, so that's really nice. Next, 2 copies of Trumpeter. That's a level 2 tuner that special summons itself as long as we don't have any spells and traps in the grave, so that's really, really nice. 1 Battle Ball. This one is kind of situational removal, because it depends on the levels of what our opponents are playing. So I'm only playing 1 of it because we can just beam it out from the deck with something like Motorbike, or even with Wakaushi's effect as well. One copy of Super Heavy Samurai Helper. This is kind of like a pseudo-honest for the deck. It's also really nice for just to get in the graveyard, so that way if they declare a direct attack, we can banish him to special summon one of our Super Heavy Samurai monsters from our graveyard. Alright, so that is it for the what I call the regular Super Heavy Samurai monsters. So we've done the Pendulums and the regulars. Now on to the Super Heavy Samurai Soul monsters. So first, we're starting out with 3 copies of Soul Piercer. This one, it gives the Equip Monster Piercing, and if this card leaves the field, then it, or when it's sent to the graveyard, rather, it searches a Super Heavy Samurai monster, so that's really nice. 1 Soul Gaia booster. While equipped to a monster, the equipped monster can be treated as a tuner, and it can also special summon itself while equipped, so that's really nice. 1 Soul Shield Wall. I'm probably going to cut this one and then just bump one of the other ones up to 3 instead of 2. So I'll probably just do that. So yeah, probably going to cut this one. It's because it's a little awkward being a level 3. And then also it only gives like 1200 defense, but that's it. It doesn't give like piercing or, you know, any other utility effect. It's just the boost. Next, 2 copies of Soul Claw. This one, it increases the defense by 500, but it also makes it to where the equipped monster cannot be destroyed in battle. So again, that's why I'm probably going to cut this one, because it's just the defense boost. I mean, there is another effect it has, but you have to send it to the graveyard for that, so it's, yeah, I'm, like, every time I would draw it, I'm just like, oh, I wish this was something else. So I think I'm going to cut that. And I'm probably going to use this slot to do a 3rd one of this, being the Super Heavy Samurai Soul Buster Gauntlet. So this one, while our Super Heavy Samurai monster is battling, we can send this from our hand to the grave to double our monster's defense. So yeah, it's kind of like a in-archetype limiter removal, if that makes sense. So yeah, probably going to bump this one up to 3. Next, 2 copies of Soul Horns. This one, while equipped, the monster can make 2 attacks during the battle phase. 1 Super Heavy Samurai Soul Beads. This one, it makes it to where the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects the first time each turn. And then finally, rounding out the main deck, we got 3 copies of Super Heavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker. So this one, we equip it to a monster. We can tribute that monster while equipped, and to special summon any Super Heavy Samurai straight from the deck. So yeah, you can literally get anything you want in the deck. And so that is it for the main deck. Now on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm actually still only running 12 cards because I still have 3 of this guy that I'm waiting to get unbanned, Konami. Like, the OCG has it at 3. Why can't we have at least 1? Like, come on. But anyways, 1 Swordmaster Musashi. This one, it's a level 5, so it's a little awkward to make because it's easier to make the even levels in this deck. But you get a resource back from your grave, so it's not the worst. Next, 3 copies of Ogre Shootin' Doji. This one is literally Harpy's Feather Duster on summon, so of course we're going to play max copies of that. 1 Stealth Ninja. Of course, like I said, this is an odd level 1. It's a little harder to make. But it can cut its defense in half to attack directly, so, you know, it could come up. 1 Commander Shanawo. I always want to say Susanoo, but that's one of the other ones. But this one, basically, we can revive a Super Heavy Samurai from our grave or one from our Pendulum Zone during the battle phase. So being able to get that extra body every turn is really nice. And then we also have Super Heavy Samurai Ninja Sarutobi. This one is the GOAT of this go-round because I used him to like pop Eternal Soul and all that stuff during the match with Dark Magician, so he is the GOAT for now. But, so yeah, as a quick effect, we can target a face-up spell or trap, or is it face-up? Hold on. Yeah. Or no, it's just, yeah, just one face, no, yeah, just one spell or trap on the field. I can't remember if it was face-up or not. I saw face-up for the attacking and defense and thought that was it, but no. So yeah, we can just target any spell or trap our opponent controls and pop it and inflict 500 burn. So that's really, really nice. Next one, Beast Kyuubi. This is my personal favorite synchro monster because it gains 500 defense for every special summon monster the opponent controls. So it can get really, really big. This one's a level 9, so like I said, it is a little awkward to make, but not as bad as the level 7 and level 5, because Big Waraji is level 5, so that plus Wakaushi is this. So yeah, definitely not as difficult to make. Next, 2 copies of Warlord Susanoo. This one, it lets you steal an opponent's spell or trap from their graveyard, and then it banishes it when it leaves the field so they don't get it back either. So that's really nice. 1 Brave Masurawo. This one, he is like your main go-to guy. When your opponent activates a spell or trap effect, he gets to let you draw until you have 3 in your hand. And then if a Super Heavy Samurai would be destroyed, then you can destroy a different Super Heavy Samurai card you control instead. So he's designed to stick around. And finally, rounding out the extra deck is the Steam Train King. This one can banish stuff from the graveyard to inflict 200 burn, and then you can also discard stuff to pop cards on the field. On a 4800 booty, really, really big. But yeah, so like I said, just a 12 card extra deck right now because I'm still waiting for this guy to be unbanned. Like, I mean, like, come on. Just give us one. Just one. I'll be happy with one. But anyways, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I'm also actually hoping that the deck is going to get a new card soon in the Limit Over collection because recently Blackwing got a previously anime exclusive synchro in Kusanagi the Gathering Storm. So I'm really hoping that we'll get Super Heavy Samurai Swordsmith in the Limit Over collection, which is a level 8 synchro. On Synchro Summon, it lets you just special summon all Super Heavies from your hand for free. So yeah, really hoping we get that anime exclusive card there. But anyways, for now, like, subscribe, vote in the locals poll, that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.